The mysterious gift box. Today, Peppa and George discover a pretty gift box sitting in front of their house. The box is tied with a shiny red ribbon. Peppa and George are very curious, but who could have left it there? Peppa gently taps the box. Oh, it wobbles as if something inside is dancing. George decides to sit on the box, but then it makes a funny boink 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 sound, and they both burst out laughing. Suddenly, the ribbon comes loose, the lid pops open, and inside, not toys, not sweets, but a bunch of colorful balloons that float up into the sky. Peppa and George happily chase after the balloons, giggling all around the garden. What a wonderful surprise from the mysterious gift box. Peppa Pig and the Night Garden. Peppa was fast asleep, moonlight shining softly through the window. In her dream, Peppa stepped into a glowing garden filled with flowers that lit up the night. George appeared in the garden, and together they laughed and played among the shining flowers. A glowing butterfly flew around Peppa, guiding them deeper into the magical garden. George woke up in the night, hearing Peppa giggle in her dream. He yawned, smiled, and pulled the blanket over himself to sleep again. Oh, it's raining so hard today. Peppa and George are standing by the window and, wow, they're thinking of an exciting adventure. Peppa can't wait any longer. She jumps outside with her umbrella. And what about George? He's following her with his little helmet. They both love playing in the puddles. Peppa jumps in every puddle, and each time the water splashes everywhere. They're laughing out loud, and it seems like the rain can't make them sad. Peppa and George keep playing in the rain without feeling cold. The rain has become their best friend. Finally, Peppa and George decide to go back inside, but they can't stop laughing. A wonderful day of rain and fun adventures has come to an end. So, no matter rain or shine, Peppa and George always know how to make everything fun. One fine evening, Little Pig was sleeping soundly in his room. But as he closed his eyes and fell asleep, a strange dream began. The little pig opened his eyes and found himself at the bottom of the sea, surrounded by colorful fish and beautiful coral reefs. Little Pig wanders into an underwater garden where sea flowers are blooming and dancing to cheerful music. Oh! The baby pig swims like a little fish and can even surf like a superhero. Everything under the sea is fun and colorful. After a wonderful adventure, Little Pig felt a little tired and decided to return to the real world. The water world gradually disappeared, leaving behind a feeling of relief. Peppa Pig and the Mountain of Bubbles. Today, Daddy Pig is washing the car, and Peppa and George discover lots of bubbles. Wow! Peppa and George think bubbles are amazing. Wow, look at that! A giant mountain of bubbles. looks so funny as a bubble snowman. Playing with bubbles is fun, but playing together is the best fun of all. Peppa and George packed the picnic basket with Mummy Pig, bringing bread, fruit, and drinks. The family walked into the colorful flower garden with bees and butterflies flying around.
Hey!
Peppa picked a red rose. George picked a sunflower, both laughing happily. Daddy Pig lifted Peppa to reach a tall flower. Peppa raised her hand excitedly. George curiously watched a snail crawling on a leaf. The family sat on the picnic blanket, eating bread, drinking water, and enjoying the beautiful garden view. Peppa Pig and the soap bubble dance. Daddy Pig had just finished assembling a giant bubble machine in the backyard.
Ta-da!
The machine started blowing countless bubbles, and Peppa and George danced while chasing them. Daddy Pig tried dancing after the bubbles, but every step he took made them all pop. Mummy Pig turned on the giant bubble mode, surprising the whole family with huge floating bubbles. Peppa and George danced around the giant bubble, reaching for it as it floated higher. The family sat in front of the porch, relaxing while watching bubbles drift into the sky. Peppa and George were sitting in the yard when they looked up at the sky and saw a cloud shaped like a bear. Peppa pointed at the sky and said, "Look, this cloud looks like a bear sleeping." George mimicked the bear, lying down and pretending to sleep on the grass, making Peppa laugh loudly. Mummy Pig walked over and saw them, saying, "You both are so cute, just like real bears." Peppa and George stood up and began imitating bears, walking slowly around the yard, laughing happily. Finally, the whole family sat together in the yard, looking at the bear-shaped cloud and enjoying the simple joy of the moment.
Peppa Pig and the never-ending puddle. After the rain, Peppa and George discover a puddle that looks bigger than usual. Peppa jumps in, but strangely, the puddle doesn't get any smaller. George jumps in too, lots of splashing, but the puddle still won't disappear. If the puddle never ends, then the best idea is to keep playing. The more they jump, the higher the splashes, and the more fun they have. Peppa and George learn that the best puddles are the ones you can enjoy again and again. Peppa Pig and the door that wouldn't open. It's a perfect day, but the door to the garden refuses to cooperate. Peppa pulls, George pushes, the door chooses to stay completely still. Maybe they're standing in the wrong place. They try again, but the door doesn't change its mind. When nothing works, Peppa does the most important thing. Takes a short break. And then, when no one touches it, the door slowly opens on its own. Peppa and George learn that sometimes the hardest things become easy when you stop trying too hard. Peppa Pig and the Shape-Shifting Box. A large cardboard box appears in the middle of the living room. For Peppa, even an ordinary box can be exciting. The box starts to move as if it's going for a walk. In Peppa's imagination, the box turns into a train. Moments later, it becomes a spaceship flying into space. Sometimes the simplest things can bring the biggest joy.
Little Pig and Big Pig were walking in the park when they suddenly heard a strange sound coming from behind the bushes. They both stopped and looked at each other curiously. Little Pig started to guess. Could it be a giant bear sleeping in there? And Sister Pig thought, or maybe a squirrel looking for food. The rustling from the bushes grew louder. Neither of them could figure out, what was it? Could it be a monster? And then, suddenly, Daddy Pig jumped out from the bushes, scaring Little Pig and Sister Pig out of their wits. It turned out that Daddy Pig was playing hide and seek. After a moment of panic, the whole pig family laughed out loud. It turned out that the strange thing behind the bush was a fun game that Father Pig thought up.
Peppa Pig and the strange noisy clock. Everything is very quiet until Peppa and George hear a strange sound they have never heard before. It turns out to be a clock, but not an ordinary one. It's big, it's loud, and it clearly loves attention. Every time the clock hand moves, the whole garden seems to wiggle along, and Peppa finds it very exciting. George decides to touch it. The clock immediately responds with an even louder sound, very much its own style. No one knows what this clock is really for, but it is very good at turning everything into a game. In the end, the clock becomes quiet, and Peppa and George realize that time goes fastest when you're having fun.
Little Pig and his sister decided to explore a forest that was said to have many strange things. But no one expected that. Today would be a special adventure. As they went deeper into the forest, they came across a giant tree, standing tall in the middle of the road. But not any ordinary tree. Suddenly, a mysterious warning rang out from within the tree. Be careful, darkness is approaching, and things will never be the same again. Suddenly, the atmosphere changed. The shadows of the trees began to move, but it wasn't the wind. Little Pig and Sister Pig ran faster, but the darkness seemed to be unyielding. And in the end, nothing strange happened. Everything was in the sisters' imagination. Peppa's balloon. Today, Peppa has a beautiful red balloon. She loves it very much. She hugs it, bounces it, and runs around with it. But the balloon is very cheeky. When Peppa lets go, it floats up into the sky. Peppa jumps high, but the balloon goes even higher. Peppa has an idea. She gets a chair to stand on. But when she climbs up, the balloon floats even higher. The chair wobbles, and Peppa wobbles too. At last, pop! The balloon gets stuck in a branch and then falls down. What luck! The balloon is back with Peppa, and this time she decides to hold it very tight. Peppa and the puzzle game. Peppa and George are ready to play with colorful building blocks. They don't know that today, the blocks will be very special. Oh no! The first block jumps and changes color. Peppa and George are wide-eyed and giggle with surprise. The other blocks also transform into little animals, dancing all over the floor. Peppa and George chase them, picking them up with laughter. Yahoo! The blocks form funny shapes, then change into new ones. Peppa and George try to guess, but are always surprised and laugh non-stop. Finally, the blocks return to normal, but still brightly colored. Peppa and George giggle happily, enjoying the magical shape-shifting game. Peppa's Forest Picnic. Today, Peppa's family goes on a picnic in the forest. George chases a butterfly, making Peppa giggle. Mummy Pig sets up lunch while Daddy Pig finds a shady spot. Peppa shares apples with everyone, and George hugs her happily. The family relaxes together, smiling under the peaceful sky.
Peppa Pig and the clock that rang at the wrong time. Everything is calm and peaceful until the clock suddenly rings, even though it's clearly not the right time. Peppa notices the wall clock. The hands aren't moving, but the bell is very busy. George takes a closer look, and as if answering him, the clock rings again. Peppa gently touches the clock, and it immediately proves that it loves attention. Suddenly, the minute hand spins quickly, as if the clock is trying to catch up with time. In the end, the clock goes quiet again. Peppa and George learn that sometimes time just needs a reminder that everyone is having fun.
Little Pig and Sister Pig are preparing a wonderful party with delicious grilled food. Everyone is happy, but something unexpected is about to happen.
Yahoo!
Suddenly, there was a sizzling sound from the oven. Something was definitely wrong. Little Pig and Big Sister Pig ran around the kitchen in a panic. Little Pig grabbed everything to put out the fire while Big Sister searched for a towel. But would this help? But then a miracle happened. Sister Pig found the fire extinguisher and ran out to put out the fire.
Peppa Pig and the strange noise in the garden. The garden is calm and quiet until a strange rustling sound comes from the bushes.
Hey! Hey!
The noise isn't loud, but it's curious enough that Peppa and George can't ignore it. Peppa bravely moves closer, while George chooses a safer spot behind her. It turns out the sound was just the wind, but Peppa and George aren't fully convinced yet. And then, the loudest noise in the garden comes from George stepping on a dry leaf. Peppa and George learn that sometimes the scariest things are just in our imagination.
The family's chair. Today, in Peppa Pig's living room, there is a brand new chair. It looks so comfy, and everyone wants to try it. Peppa jumps on first. The chair goes creak. George climbs up too. Now it goes creak, creak, again and again. Daddy Pig comes in and sits down. The chair tilts to one side, wobbling like it's about to fly. Mummy Pig smiles and joins them. The whole family is squeezing onto the tiny chair. The chair squeaks, shakes, and thud. It falls right onto the floor. For a moment, everyone is quiet. Then they burst into laughter. The chair isn't big enough, but laughter always has room for everyone.
Peppa Pig and the giant ball. Everything seems normal until Peppa and George notice a giant ball rolling straight into their backyard. The ball is enormous, but Peppa is determined because for Peppa, bigger always means more fun. The ball rolls across the grass, leaving funny circles behind, and Peppa laughs with every spin. George joins in, and together they try to control the giant ball, or at least try their best. And then, splash! The ball hits a puddle, sending water everywhere and turning the fun up even more. In the end, Peppa and George learn that sometimes all you need for great fun is a giant ball and lots of laughter.
One beautiful morning, Little Pig and Little Pig were walking in the garden. Little Pig suddenly discovered a big rock. But the strange thing was, this rock could move. The curious Little Pig approached the rock, and in the blink of an eye, the rock started rolling, as if it wanted to lead the Little Pig somewhere. The stone led Little Pig into a mysterious area of the garden, where there was a small gate covered with wildflowers. The gate seemed never to have been opened. As they passed through the mysterious gate, Little Pig and Sister Pig enter a magical garden, a vast flower garden, and a giant candy garden. So the adventure ends, but this mysterious garden will surely have many interesting things waiting for Little Pig and Sister Pig to discover. Who knows where this stone will lead them next? Peppa and the Shared Umbrella. It's a rainy morning, and Peppa brings her favorite pink umbrella. She sees Wendy Wolf getting wet under a tree. Peppa smiles and shares her umbrella with Wendy. They walk together, splashing puddles and singing happily. Madame Gazelle says, "Sharing is wonderful." Peppa and Wendy smile under the pink umbrella. Today, the school is holding a running competition. Peppa, George, and the others are very excited to participate. Who will be the winner? The whistle has blown! The race is officially on! Peppa and George and their friends run as fast as they can. Oh no! There are many obstacles on the track. Peppa has to overcome them, but George can't stop because he tripped over a small rock. Daddy Pig and Mummy Pig cheered enthusiastically, which gave Peppa and George extra motivation to continue the competition. And finally, Peppa and her friends finished the competition. Even though she wasn't the winner, Peppa felt very happy because she tried her best. A happy morning starts with, a delicious chocolate cake. Oh my, who could resist? But when the baby turned around, oh what? Where did the cake go? The little pig is on a hunt. Under the table, in the fridge, even in his boots? And finally, the cake was right in the hands of the pig, eating deliciously. But don't worry, Piggy has prepared a second portion of cake for you. How sweet! The naughty kite! Today is a very windy day. Peppa and George want to fly their brand new kite. Peppa runs as fast as she can, and the kite begins to fly into the sky. George waves with excitement as the kite goes higher and higher. Oh dear, the kite is caught in a big tree branch. Peppa and George look a little worried, but they still hope for a way to save it.
Aha!
Luckily, Daddy Pig comes to help. Now the kite is flying high in the sky again, and Peppa and George laugh out loud with joy. The sunglasses. It's a sunny day. Peppa thinks wearing sunglasses will make her look very stylish. But the sunglasses are much too big for George. He looks like a cheeky little bear. Oh dear, it seems George isn't the only one with sunglasses trouble. Daddy Pig has the opposite problem. Whether sunglasses are too big or too small, the Peppa family always knows how to have fun together. Peppa helps Mummy Pig clean the house. Peppa and George are happily playing in the living room with toys scattered all over the floor. The room looks so messy. Mummy Pig walks in, looks around the messy room, and decides it's time to clean up. Peppa and George quickly say, "Let us do the cleaning ourselves." The two little ones start picking up toys and putting them into baskets. When they finish, Mummy Pig feels so proud of them. Gentle giggles fill the warm, cozy room. Hearing the laughter, Daddy Pig peeks in curiously. Oh no! He steps on George's toy car. It looks so funny. Peppa, George, and Mummy Pig burst out laughing. While Daddy Pig looks confused about why that toy is there. Peppa and George ran outside to play as the rain started. They jumped into puddles, splashing water everywhere. Mummy Pig brought raincoats and reminded them, "Be careful, don't slip." Daddy Pig appeared with a big umbrella, sheltering Peppa and George from the rain. Peppa found a giant puddle, carefully jumped in, and laughed with joy. Finally, the whole family stood under the umbrella, watching Peppa and George dance in the rain, laughing together.